Hi, I'm Allie Cass Cosplay, and you're watching the Disney Channel. Actually, don't know how to make a Disney sign. Hi, so I had a funny little idea because I can't decide which project I want to work on next, and I thought that you, the almost 2,000 people that follow me, can decide that for me. So in today's video, I am going to walk you through my 4 next projects and kind of go over the pros and cons, what the projects are, and then you guys can decide in the comments what is going to be my next project. I have already put up a poll on my Instagram, and here are the results for that. So I don't know if that will make you want one thing or the other. Across my various social media platforms, as well as my own glorious opinion, I'm going to gather everything together and come to a consensus over the next project based on everybody's opinions. So the costume you may really want me to make may not be what I work on next, but these next 4 projects are going to be made this year. I am holding myself at gunpoint. With the state of the world, I need whimsy. I need whimsy. I need to go back to my childhood and relive some fun and be a Disney princess, because every time I check the news, I want to cry, rage, and burn the system to the ground. So, yeah. I wasn't really like a Disney prince. I wasn't really a Disney princess child. I really liked Cinderella, and I had seen all the Disney princesses. Other than them having pretty dresses, I wasn't like super gripped. My favorite Disney shows growing up was the Disney Pixar Dinosaurs from 2000, Tarzan, the first Atlantis movie, Treasure Planet. I love Treasure Planet. So like those were like the movies that I was obsessed with as a child. But I also did really enjoy the Disney princesses. They were pretty. Okay, I wanted pretty dresses. I like pretty dresses. As you can see on my lovely screen behind me, I have the Disney princesses up. We are going to not be doing like their ball gown looks because oof. So my next projects are going to be one of these 4 Disney princess, like village peasant maid-esque outfits. And we are going to go over each one of them. I have created... That actually, you can't see what that is. This is Millinote. No, this video is not sponsored. But if Millinote wanted to sponsor me, do I want to sell my soul to a sponsorship? I don't think so, actually. But I do actually enjoy using Millinote. If you end up using it, like it's... The YouTubers that are trying to get you to use Millinote are actually not lying to you. It's actually pretty good. Like, we have Cinderella, Ariel, Belle, and Snow White. We are going to go in order of I opened them last night and left them up on my desktop. So we are starting with Snow White. Snow White. So I really like the patchwork, kind of almost falling apart. She is very much based on like 1930s fashion. That's why you have like the Peter Pan collar and the little puff sleeves. So we are going to be keeping some of these bits of that 1930s energy, but we are also going to be adding like a little bit more that historical fantasy kind of vibe, I think. I really like the way that people go a little bit more extra with it and add a little bit to it. So I'm definitely going to be adding to it. I really want to add a lot more patchwork to the skirt. Like this is just what you see on screen, and I like that, but I'm going to add different textures and different colors of patchwork onto the skirt, and I may also just make a whole patchwork overskirt and then make like an underskirt underneath. So to make, we need to make a pair of brown stays or a corset, depending on what word you use. It's technically what I would be making is a pair of stays, but most people are going to understand the word corset. We need to make a shirt with a Peter Pan collar, or we could go a little more historical, but she is like kind of iconic with that little Peter Pan collar, so I think I want to keep the Peter Pan collar. And then I want to make like a patchwork overskirt and then a plain brown underskirt. I personally don't want to go as tattered on the bottom skirt, simply because it'll fray and it could get messy depending on the kind of fabric that I use. So I probably won't go with an actual tattered bottom, kind of like how this has like the lace and stuff like that. I probably won't go with like lace too much, because that would be sort of, she wouldn't end up having lace on this outfit. Like, she's a little peasant girl. Pros and cons. I have all the fabric. I have the wig. The wig requires minimal styling, so that's pretty good. The cons is that if I do end up making a tabbed like pair of stays, I've never made that before, so that could be challenging. And also, I'm probably going to move the lacing to the back, which would mean it would be a back lacing corset, and that would mean I would always have to have somebody help me. And that's more of a general con in the entirety of the costume, and not just like me making it right now. Next, we have Village Belle, this like little blue ensemble. I personally really like the stage and theater productions of Belle a lot more than just this plain blue. You will see a motif amongst this that I just want to make everything fancier. So that's why I have like this like stage inspo right here. And then we have like the more cosplay inspo. I really like this like pink number up here. It's so cute. I love the little added details of the pink and the roses, and I kind of want to like incorporate that a little bit. I don't think I'm gonna go with like a collared shirt like she has, because unless I make something called a partlet, which is something that was used in Tudor gowns. And it was like this, it could go over the dress or under the dress, and it would give it a collar, but it was detachable. So I could make a partlet, but I also really enjoy just using like a chemise. I also already made a white chemise a long time ago, about 2 years ago, and already using something I made is a pro. A white peasant top / chemise, a pair of stays or a corset. I want to use a patterned fabric like on this, because I have this really pretty blue patterned fabric I want to use. And then a top skirt in a plain blue to kind of like match this. And then an underskirt with a ruffle on the bottom to match like these ideas here. And it would be in a matching fabric for the pair of stays, an apron, and possibly a petticoat, because like I like the volume in lots of skirts, and that also would have been historic. That late 1700s pastoral vibe a bit more with this one. So pros. I already have the peasant top chemise situation going on, so that cuts down on time to make things. I don't think I have all of the trims. I have like most of the fabrics I'd want to use for this, but I would still need to make a couple purchases. So it would slow down the timing on that. So I would need to get like a little bit of something, which not too bad. Not too bad. I think I probably have all the fabrics for it, but I would have to like reevaluate. And then as far as the wig goes, I think I have a brown wig that could work, but I have not been able to find it in a long time. So I may need to buy a wig. I will need to spend a little bit of money for this one. So I'm like, I just know that I want to like go really ham on like lace and trim detail, because it's the late 1700s. Like they went fancy, zhuzhy on it. And I know it's like her peasant look, but also her dad was a business owner and an inventor, and like I want to go a little prettier with it. I want to do something a little fancy. So sue me, absolutely sue me if you want, but I want to go a little fancier with it. I really love like all these like pretty extra little details. Like I want to do that with it. I want it to be pretty. I love this outfit. I also already have somebody that wants to do a shoot with me as Ursula, so that's like pushing this one a little more into the, I want to have this done no later than by summer. So I will need to make a corset, a chemise or shirt, a skirt, an underskirt, possibly depending on the design I end up going with, and a petticoat. For design, I want to go with like fancier sleeves. I want to go a little fancier with the sleeves because the royalty, you know, the prince gave her this outfit to wear. Like they furnished her with all of the clothes. I want it to be a little fancier. I want it to be a little prettier, you know what I mean? So we have like the cosplay inspo here of like ones that I really like. I really love this corset. It's really pretty. And then this fabric has little bubbles on it. I have no fabric that has bubbles on it, so don't get your hopes up. Like there's little starfish on this corset, and I'm like, ooh, I could embroider a little starfish onto her corset. That would be so cute. It would also give me practice with embroidery. So, and then this was some art inspo. So there's like a doll, there's like a really fancy doll, and I really like the idea of like a open front overskirt with like a nicer little underskirt underneath. And there was a couple different versions where she's wearing like multiple skirts, and one of them opens and has like another pretty skirt underneath. And I have a blue chiffon that has little iridescent sparkles on it, and I fear that one is going to be the overskirt. And then if I don't end up liking it, I don't have to wear it. Like the like gold detailing, I won't do that. So another thing, I already own a really pretty bow, so I don't need to make a bow. Pros and cons. I already have the wig. The wig is almost entirely already styled. I just need to move the hair over. So the wig is going to be really easy. I already have all the fabrics. The cons, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different things to make. And it's a lot of like detail stuff. So this one will take me like a little bit longer, but it is a lot more things that I will have to make. So I have to keep that in mind when I am thinking about this, is that it's a bit more. This is my girl. This was my favorite Disney princess. What do we have to make? So we have to make a brown corset top, a dark brown overskirt. I want to make a brown underskirt, the apron, and the shirt. Now, I do have a blue shirt that I think I will use instead of making one. I really like, again, going with the more historical inspired late 1780s-ish, like the 1770s, 1780s pastoral vibe. I'll put some like inspo. I know that I think Cinderella was supposed to take place a little later. I think it's supposed to be 1800s, 1840s, 1850s. Story, depending on retellings and things like that, can happen anywhere from the Italian Renaissance all the way up. So I can really do whatever I want. And I am going to do whatever I want. For my inspo, I definitely want to have like 2 skirts. I want to have one of the skirts at a different length than the other. So the top skirt is going to be at a different length than the bottom skirt. And then I also kind of want it to be like pulled up a little bit with maybe some ties or something. I want to go with like a lacy little apron. I actually have one, so I don't need to make it. I only have to make the corset, the brown skirt, and the underskirt. So pros and cons. Pros. I don't have to make very much. I only have to make the brown skirt, the corset, and the underskirt. I already have a wig because I've had the same wig for a very long time, and so I don't need to make that. I already have all of the fabrics I need. The wig will take minimal styling. The cons, there really isn't any. Like, there's not a lot of cons. So my favorite. There we have it. So I want this to kind of turn into a sort of Disney princess series that I'm going to do. So I will eventually make all of these, but I want you to decide which one I'm gonna make first. I've already made the Briar Rose Sleeping Beauty one, which you can check out the video, and like here's a little twirly of it. So you get a kind of an idea of what I have in mind. And so it's going to be recognizably the princesses, but I want to add like a little bit of my own personal flair and just a little bit of my own personal razzle dazzle. You know what I mean? Do want to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. I want to hear who you want to see first. So leave a comment down below with the one you want me to do first. And if there's any other like projects or things like that that you want me to work on, I will be doing more than just Disney princesses this year. I promise you, I will be doing more than just Disney princesses this year. I want to share more with you guys. So I may start doing this more and more, pre-sharing projects and things like that to kind of give you guys an idea of what you're going to see in future. If this is the kind of content you like and you want to see more cosplay and more building stuff, do follow along if this is your first time seeing me. I have been cosplaying for 12 years now, and I've been sewing for almost 20. So I do love a project. You will see lots of projects here. If that is what you're interested in, you'll see that. I do like con vlogs. I occasionally do K-pop related content. I've got a lot of stuff planned. I have so many projects planned for this year. If you are not new here and you're like a regular viewer, what's up? I love you. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye. But other than them being having, holy crap.